Today we're going to do something a little unorthodox. We're going to do something that went viral on TikTok, and that is a macaroni lao. Now, calling this a pilau is a bit, problematic because, as we all know, pilau is a rice-based dish. But for all intents and purposes, calling it a macaroni lao would automatically let you know what kind of flavors you're in for and that kind of thing, right? The experience that you're in for. So a couple people tagged me in this video. They posted it on Twitter and they tagged me and asked me if I had ever made it before. And the answer is yes, I did make a macaroni lao before. And that was because I had leftover stew chicken and I had pasta. And I just put the two together and, came up with that. Today, I'm gonna actually make it as one dish, right? And I was thinking what's the best type of pasta to use to make a macaroni lao. And I mean, I can't call it a macaroni lao and not use macaroni, right? I wouldn't use the whole macaroni. I think that the elbows would be the best bet. So I'm using elbows to make this because I think the elbows is a nice bite, nice to scoop up with your fork, a nice mouthful kind of thing. If you use like penne or spaghetti, I think it'll be the same experience. So you go in with these small elbows and we go in with chicken breasts. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be eating no pasta dish with meat with bone in it. That is not a nice experience. So we go in with boneless breasts. If you want to use boneless thighs, you can use that as well, but boneless meat is the way to go in pasta dishes. So we go in with some boneless breasts. And the first thing I want to do is season up this breast. So I have some ingredients here. I'm gonna make a little green seasoning to season up the breast. So let me do that one time. All right, so to make the green seasoning, I have some chive here that is cutting up. It's rough cutting because everything going into the blender. So I have my chive here, rough cut. And I have some celery. Again, rough cut on the celery. Stems and the leaves. All right, I have some shadow benny leaves here. I'm just gonna cut this up. I have a piece of parsley here, dropping that in as well. Some fine thyme. I have a piece of ginger here. Just gonna roughly cut it. Slices. Some pimentos as well. These don't have any heat, it's just for flavor. I have one chili, and you could use Scotch bonnet pepper instead of chili here, but I had the chili pepper, so I'm using it. And I have about 10 cloves of garlic here that going into our green seasoning as well. All right, and to get this going, we add in a little bit of white vinegar into the blender. I would say about a quarter cup. Now we just wanna blend this until it is liquefied. So I just want to cut these chicken breasts into bite-sized chunks. Because you don't want, no big pieces of chicken breast. You want the experience to be, pleasurable. So cut it into manageable pieces where, you pick up a piece with your fork, you can get a nice mouthful. All right, so now it's time to season up our chicken. First, I'm going in with a little bit of, boom, you done know. A little bit of MSG up in there. Liberal. Some black pepper. And some green seasoning, as much as you want. think we're good there. I think about a half cup there. So I'm gonna mix this all up. And now you want to allow this chicken to marinate for a couple hours, but ideally overnight. Overnight is best, but at least 1 hour. So I'm gonna let this chill out for a while and we're gonna work on the other ingredients. All right, so I'm gonna grate the pumpkin, and the reason why I'm grating the pumpkin instead of cutting it up is because I want it to melt into the dish and form part of the sauce, and to give the pasta dish a nice creamy finish. So the pumpkin is going to allow for that. Grating the pumpkin, I should say, is going to allow for that. So just gonna grate this. And I have some carrot here that I'm going to dice. I want to end up with about 1 cup of diced carrot. And I'm not adding any peas to this dish, right? I mean, if you want to add pigeon peas, you could go ahead. But I don't know that pigeon peas would go down good in this macaroni pelau. A good technique in cutting carrot is to cut one face off of it, and then as you get this nice flat part, you put the flat part onto the cutting board so that when you're cutting it, your carrot don't shift around. So, I feel separate. Sorry, my mouth for like 20 pieces of carrot. Well, a bit of oil in the pan, and we're going in with some brown sugar. So we have about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar here that we're just going to caramelize to start our stew. And if you hear noise in the background, it's because a heavy rain falling right now. So, and you know how stew does go. You cannot take your eyes off of this. There's something that you have to keep your eye on. So you're almost at the point where we need to add in the chicken. Sugar is nice and frothy. And as soon as it goes dark, that is the point at which you want to add our chicken. So that would be right about now. And as you add the chicken, you want to move it around to make sure that all of them get a nice coating of the caramelized sugar. And here's smelling real good already. Proper things happening. So you want to let this cook for about 2-3 minutes before we start to add the other ingredients. We want to get a nice color going on the chicken. All right, so now we want to go in with our onions, carrots, and the pumpkin. I'm going to give this a toss. At this point, I want to season with a little bit of salt, some freshly grated nutmeg, add in 1 bay leaf, and about a tablespoon of ruku. Now we want to cover this and allow it to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so 8 minutes later, looking good. Now I want to add the pasta to the dish. And I know this might seem kind of weird adding the pasta while the dish still have no liquid in it, but what I want to happen is I want some of that flavor that we build there to actually start to cook the pasta. So the pasta not just getting tossed in the sauce, the pasta getting cooked in the sauce, so you have that flavor going right through the dish. So you're gonna cover this and let the steam start to cook the pasta for about 2 to 3 minutes, and we're gonna add our liquid after. All right, so for our liquid that we're gonna cook the pasta in, this is the remainder of the seasoning that the chicken was seasoned in. It's gonna add some coconut milk powder to that, and we're gonna add 1 cup of water. And we're just gonna combine this. Now we're gonna add our liquid. I'm just adding 1 extra cup of water to this. Give this a good mix. Now we're gonna cover this and allow it to cook on medium to low heat for another 8 to 10 minutes. All right, let me see how we're looking here. Now we don't want our pasta to get mushy, right? We're going for a little above al dente here, all right? So I think we're at a real good place here. Looking at it, the pasta looking nice and cooked. I could just look at this and tell, but you know what? Let me taste it so that a little thing that you know is cat in bag thing all again here. Perfectly cooked. We're looking real nice here. So the only thing left to do is to switch this off and plate up and go in for a good taste. All right. Nice. Just, you know, tearing up some fresh basil here. And a little shake of red chili flakes. This might seem weird, and the initial reaction to this might be, hell no, but trust and believe. This lashing, this saying things. Macaroni Lau, yeah. Ratings. So making sure that the pasta kind of steam in the stew sauce ensures that, you know, the pasta itself has the flavor of the stew chicken. It's not just pasta tossed in a sauce. The pasta itself, it's flavored with the stew, so again, that flavor going straight through. Chicken perfectly cooked. Carrots, they're real nice. The green seasoning, giving it, you know, that real distinct Trini flavor that we know and love. Yeah. And this real nice. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you try this recipe. So, if you want to try the recipe, check out the link in the video description. I'll post it and you'll have all the ingredients and the method on the website. And you know, if you try it, post your photos to social media. Would love to see it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.